What's your country's toxic culture you want to get rid of? USA, that obesity is something to be encouraged and praised. If someone is overweight, it's not healthy and it severely limits their capabilities. All the restaurants, corporations, and influencers have done is promote obesity. Now, I'm against fat shaming or body shaming in general. I personally believe that if the country did not say obesity was healthy and fine, people would be more inclined to lead healthier lives. Note, I'm not saying anything against overweight people, but I am saying the country should not promote unhealthy lifestyles. Blame culture. It exists in all parts of our society. UK. Holding people accountable for mistakes or wrongdoing is understandable. However, pretty much everything is now approached with the mindset that blame cannot be attributed to them, be it an individual or organization, at all costs. It hamstrings a lot of endeavors as people set out with the mindset of avoiding being blamed if things don't go 100% to plan, rather than focusing on a quality outcome in the first place. Not as destructive or evil as some on this list, but is a personal bugbear. Where I live, people love to have a son anytime over a daughter. When a woman has only daughters, for whatever scientific reason, people shame her for not being able to have a son. As if she can do anything about it. Notice how no one blames the husband. This is all because of this irrational belief my people have. Basically, a girl can bring shame to the family but a boy can't. Because toxic men want a son to carry their name later on. And all those other misogynistic thoughts and acts. I hate it here. How do you handle women making a first move? So she found your contact info through an unconventional manner. Did she gather other info of your medical record or disperse? Or was it just your name and number? Honestly, what's the difference if people face stalk you or via Instagram? It's just contact info. I say give it a go. Sorry in advance if she is a straight out nutter, but I assure you there are plenty of them out there far more stealth than this one. To snoop in files to get information before properly being introduced is a violation to your personal peace and privacy. She sounds very predatory if she couldn't simply approach you as a friend and like you were a person/human. That's like forcibly making you go out with them. I had a teacher who looked into my files who outed himself when I purposely flubbed my birthday to give him less information about me. He corrected me in front of the whole class and asked why I did that. At this level it can be slightly concerning. Sometimes they're crazy and have this fantasy of who you are and get violent when you don't live up to it. Other times it's money oriented and they only care about money or some weird motive, drama, they can encircle you in. Very incredibly rarely is it positive outcome when someone pulls your personal info. Not an expert. But as others have said, this is illegal. And if a guy did the same, they would at least lose their job. Even if I was to entertain the idea of dating someone who did that, it would be very weird that they potentially know highly personal information about me, while I know virtually nothing about them. So it's pretty messed up. I would be a little flattered. And it would be nice if women made the first move more. But in this scenario, the weirdness outweighs any positive element. What should I say if a kid asks if I'm in the mafia? I love to tell people I try not to get involved with that side of the family. The looks are priceless. Serves them right for generalizing. Why would a kid ask that just because you're Italian? I'm Irish. I don't get kids asking me if I'm in the IRA. Of course not, honey. The mafia isn't real. And unless you actually are. In which case go wherever you guys go to discuss things and be real with them so they don't cause problems and get themselves killed. Give them a common household object wrapped in cloth and tell them to hide it and not look inside no matter what. Then tell them you have no idea what the mafia are. Said yes. That you run an underground Domino's pizza. And that you and only you decided if the pizza edge gets to have mozzarella/pineapple or not. I am not mafia. There is no such thing as mafia. But what I can assure you is I come with very special set of skills which I have gathered over years of work. And I'd say something along the lines of oh no. How did you find out? I'll bring you candies with my mafia connections if you don't tell anybody and Of course it has to be a kid you know. Like a relative. Don't offer candies to kids. Growing up, Mew Buddy's very Italian dad John would look at us down his nose and say yeah. And if you tell anyone I'll crack your FKN kneecaps. While holding a fist at us. Freaking love John. He made the best food for us on the weekends. But now you come to me and you say, simple conversation 80. Give me answers. And I pause. But you don't ask with respect. You don't offer friendship, you don't even think to call me simple conversation 80. Instead, you come into my house on the day my daughter's to be married and you ask me to answer your question, for money and Are you still tired of Pink Floyd from adolescence? I think I'm bored of Floyd. Then occasionally I'll hear some on radio or whatever and change my mind. Surprisingly. For as incessantly as I listened to them. No. Tapered off gradually, but there was never a time when I didn't have at least one or two songs in my set list or playlist. And that is still the case. Only certain songs that are overplayed on the radio. Another Brick in the Wall and Comfortably Numb come to mind. As far as ones from less popular albums like Animals. I've never even heard them played on the radio. So it's a real treat when I get to listen to them. Yes. I was obsessed in the 80s when I was a teenager and overdid listening to them. 35 years later I'm still waiting to get over it so I can listen to them again. It's Coldplay for me. I was so moody in my 20s. I listen to them now and all I can think is that I should have stopped crying over boys and gone hiking instead or something. I would say I overplayed them myself. Unfortunately. As no band quite fills that hole. But I appreciate that they're still being rediscovered all the time. It's pretty fun to watch. Reaction videos https://m. YouTube.com/results. SP equals Mia. Search _query equals Pink plus Floyd plus reaction plus video. Of people hearing Time or Comfortably Numb for the first time and falling in love. So. A relative of mine who has manic depressive episodes. Bipolarism. And PTSD. The 60s/70s were a hard time for him. Played the wall 24/7 when he'd have an episode. That was way more often than I ever realized. He lived with us. I love PF, but holy shit. The level of absolute sadness I get thinking of how much he suffered/suffers hurts.